All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know what it is. It's Monday night. It's time for Major City Mondays. Hit that like, hit that follow, hit that subscribe. More importantly, hit the share right now. The Urban Conservative Podcast starts right now.
Hey, buddy, do you like NASCAR? Do you like a tribe called Quest? Well, you gonna love the Urban Conservative.
Do you like manwich and nachos? Well, then you'd love the Urban Conservative.
Do you like guns? Do you like butter? Well, you're gonna love the Urban Conservative.
Yo, what's good, son? You like pit bulls, say? You like solving Sudoku puzzles? Then you gonna love the Urban Conservative.
Welcome to the Urban Conservative Podcast, where we do not believe that avocado toast can save the planet or the world will end, because cars use gasoline. You won't hear that Wi-Fi is a basic human right, or that billionaires are secretly supervillains. Here, we do not believe that electric cars run on hopes and dreams. You also won't hear that anyone who disagrees with us is a fascist, or that socialism will make everyone rich. You won't be gender affirmed or offered any opportunity to share your preferred pronouns. If this causes you any discomfort, please rest assured that we couldn't possibly care less. For everyone else, thank you, and please stand by.
My fellow Americans, it's time for the Urban Conservative Podcast. This is without a doubt the best podcast on the internet. It's about to go down here on the Urban Conservative.
3, 2, 1.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know what it is. It's Monday night. You tapped into the Urban Conservative Podcast. Of course, yours truly, Raheem Architect Soto, one half of the TUC Twins, joined by my twin brother, same mother, no other. Mr. Dual Ali is in the building. How are you, sir?
I am fantastic, brother, and thank you to everybody for checking out the Urban Conservative Podcast. I gotta, real quick at the front of this, give big shouts out to everybody that's called, text, sent an email to let me know that they voted for me in this U.S. District, House District 12 primary. So shouts out to everybody here in U.S. House District 12 showing love with their vote in this primary election. Bro, you are snowed in right now.
Yeah, so you know, the Northeast, we caught a little couple inches, a little 26, little like 26 when the inches out there, looking like the winter wonderland, you know. But listen, I'm gonna say this, and I don't know if it's maybe because we weren't in tune to politics, or you know, to how municipalities run during weather crises. But I never recalled the travel ban. Like, we got a travel ban here in Suffolk County, and I'm not saying that the travel ban's bad. I'm saying that I just don't ever recall, you know, snow coming down and a travel ban. I just remember you get where you gotta go, how you gotta get there when you gotta get there. You know,
Yo, we talked
but you
about
know.
this earlier when we were growing up, and y'all get in the comments if you grew up in the, our generation of things. I don't remember anything getting shut down for snow. I don't remember it. We still went to
No,
school.
no.
Eh, Yo, do you remember being in foster care in Mount Vernon and walking to school in blizzard
And then
conditions?
and what was outside today? You know what? I thought I was bucking, but I was like, let me think about this. I actually got put into a snowsuit and sent off. Like, yeah,
To not even on the bus, to walk.
yeah, it's that way. Go that way. Put on this snowsuit and go that. You know where it is. You walk there normally. Do that again. You know what I'm saying? I remember waiting for the bus doing that, but shouts out to everybody up here making it through the snowstorm. Like I said, over 24 inches. I think we got some record snowfall here on the Northeast. I wish we'd have pulled up some photos for those watching so they could see what was going on. But yeah, real crazy. But other than that, status quo. We got some major city news to get into. It's been an interesting few days since we last went live. And I was really wanting to start with AOC and like really ask Queens as a major city, what are y'all doing? But then I was like, nah, I don't want to let the other side stay confident that she's going to be able to, outdo our side. I mean, it was difficult because it was 45 minutes of listening to her expound on things. And the word saladry, she is a chef. She is a iron chef. I don't know what is it? She has Michelin star level word salad. And I
Oh,
wanted to
wow.
start there. I wanted to start there, but we're not. We're not going to start there. We're going to start with, speaking of the Northeast, we're going to start with Mamdani. And the reason we're going to do that is because, as you know, New York is a major city, and New York is an interesting place to be right now, especially with all the snow. And apparently, before the snowstorm, there was mountains of poop everywhere. Just feces everywhere. Did you hear about that?
I did. I saw one little short, and the lady she was like, "Okay, I'm gonna need y'all to get it together." But here's the thing, bro. Y'all voted for this, New York. New York City, you got what you asked for. I don't
I
understand how
mean,
anybody's upset. You asked for it.
yeah, but like, what did y'all think was gonna happen? You know what I'm saying? Like, what did y'all think was gonna happen when you voted this
What did he
guy in?
say? What did he say? He said we need to reject the coldness of individuality and accept the warmness of what? Of collectivism or some craziness?
Yeah,
It's
he said
ridiculous.
he's a wild boy. He said a few wild things in my opinion. But the reality of it is, and I'm gonna play this quick clip that I'm just not sure if he's competent enough to do this. Like if there's a process to get him up out of there, but
If
with
we
this
cannot
budget,
pursue the first path, the only option we have remaining is the second path. At the heart of this path is a property tax increase. This would effectively be a tax on working and middle class New Yorkers who have
all right, I'm done. All right. That's I mean, come on, you. Like so here's the issue, Ali. Here's the issue. The idea that you're gonna raise taxes and you already the argument is already that things are too expensive and we're the most taxed as a state. Now let's do some more taxing. So how much cutting did we look to do? Right? That's always a question. How have we looked to cut taxes, and how have we been appealing to the business community to come into New York City and do business?
Well, I think the other thing you gotta consider, and this is 1,000,000% at the feet of the folks who voted for him, but you have to ask yourself this very, very important question. Did he get left with a budget deficit? And the answer is absolutely not. Eric Adams left him with a balanced budget. Everything this it was started out as 12 billion and now I think it's down to 7 billion. All of this is this socialist spending that he wants to do. None of this stuff that he's trying to do, this tax increase, you guys will be paying for more stuff for illegals in New York
a
if you
median income of
allow this to continue.
$122,000. The second path also requires us to raid our reserves. It would mean withdrawing $980 million from our city's rainy day fund in fiscal year 2026 and $229 million from the Retiree Health Benefit Trust in fiscal year 2027.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
All
I
right.
mean, So you get what you ask for, you get what you vote for, and the bottom line here is this, and it's beautifully simple. Um, People are going to leave. People are going to leave, and they've already began to leave. And they're not only going to leave, but this is going to put New York in a more precarious situation. Hochul's having none of it. And the universe having its will. If all things align properly, we'll have a Governor Blakeman in New York, and we'll have some sense at the top of the state where we won't be entertaining nonsense like this. So
Well,
there's some
last
entertaining
thing,
of the money. Yeah.
last thing on this Mamdani thing. Did you hear about what you need to become an emergency snow shoveler in New York City? Did you hear about this?
I mean, come on. And now let's throw this out there. Not only are you asking people to come shovel, but can you get a load of this, folks? You're not gonna believe this one. And we gonna have to clip this and share this and like stop us right here if I'm wrong. You gotta show ID to get paid to go shovel.
To participate in the New York City Emergency Snow Shoveling Program as of February 2026, the Department of Sanitation, DSNY, requires applicants to bring specific documentation to their local sanitation garage, which includes multiple forms of identification. Required documents: two small photos, 1.5-inch square, similar to passport style, two forms of identification, original and copies. Examples include a driver's license,
Game
passport,
over. Come
school
on now.
photo ID, or an ID NYC card, a
Come on
social
now.
security card.
Come on
So
now.
here's what so wait a minute, wait a minute. This is the only reason I bring this up. That is absolutely racist according to their logic. According to
Yeah,
their
yeah,
logic,
yeah, yeah.
no black and brown people should be qualified to shovel snow in New York City because
All right.
black and brown people don't know how to get to the DMV.
So let me level this at the people at our audience, and I'd love you guys' feedback on this. And then we'll come back at another time and discuss this a little further. But the teachers unions, the unions that
Mm.
endorse Mamdani, I wonder how they feel. And do you guys think they're happy about hearing that he will raid retirement money and he will do these things to close the budget gap that he's produced for himself? So the reality of it is do you guys think that the unions have become too powerful in the sense that really that's who got him elected with those endorsements and the way that is? I mean, let's just call this what this is. So I'm just curious, what do you guys think? Do you think everybody in those unions, those educators, those people whose money that is, are happy about that? Get in the comment section. Let us know. We're gonna take a quick commercial break, and we're gonna come back. Ali got another thing to bring up, but we'll be right back after this quick commercial break.
The Urban Conservative is sponsored in part by Gyra Family Farms, providing your family with fresh meat, eggs, poultry, produce, and so much more. Visit gyrafamilyfarm.net to find out about their summer farm camp program, events and classes, and their exclusive Farm Share membership, which will give you 15% off all your purchases. Again, visit gyrafamilyfarm.net to find out more.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tapping back into the Urban Conservative Podcast. Do us a favor, hit that share button. We go live Monday nights, 8 p.m., right here on YouTube and on our Facebook page at the Urban Conservative, and then over on YouTube at TUC Twins. Make sure to hit the subscribe button over there as well. We're also on all your favorite social medias, so just look us up. One of those two things, the Urban Conservative, TUC Twins. There you have it. So I see you have this picture up. We're going to take it to Atlanta. Go ahead, read the story, bro.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, first and foremost, we want to send our condolences, our thoughts and prayers out to the family of Dr. Linda Davis. This coming straight from the Department of Homeland Security. Just going to read y'all the story. After months of sanctuary, city politicians encouraging and instructing illegal aliens to resist and evade federal law enforcement, A criminal illegal alien attempting to flee from ICE law enforcement struck and killed a motorist in Savannah. Again, Dr. Linda Davis. On February 16th, ICE law enforcement officers attempted to apprehend Oscar Vasquez Lopez, a criminal illegal alien from Guatemala who was issued a final order of removal by a federal judge back in 2024. He entered the U.S. illegally on an unknown date and at an unknown location. During the operation, officers observed Vasquez Lopez enter a vehicle and attempted a traffic stop. Vasquez Lopez initially complied, but then fled the scene, making a reckless U turn, running a red light, and colliding into a civilian vehicle. The civilian driver, who is we now know as Dr. Davis, sustained fatal injuries and was pronounced, at the scene. Vasquez Lopez is currently in custody at the hospital as of the time of the writing of this story with minor injuries and was charged by the Chatham County Police Department with a vehicular homicide. Quote, the vehicular homicide is an absolute tragedy and deadly consequence of politicians and the media constantly demonizing ICE officers and encourage those here illegally to resist arrest, which is a felony. That a quote from Homeland Security Assistant Secretary Trisha McLaughlin. And the interesting thing about this is the story also cites people. You just mentioned AOC, who hosted a webinar back in February, providing tips for illegal aliens to evade arrest at homes, workplaces, or in public. Dan Goldman posted a video online calling for illegal aliens to make a plan for ICE encounters. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass issued multilingual flyers and online resources advising illegal aliens how to evade arrest. And California Governor Gavin Newsom even released guidelines and sanctuary city laws advising illegal aliens how to recognize ICE, block entry, and defy arrest. Now, the sad part about this, when you read about this beautiful human being who did nothing but take care of young people, there's a bunch of 5 and 6 and 7-year-olds that have to now know that this teacher's not coming back. And from everything that we've been able to read, that's all this lady cared about was making sure those kids in her class um, realized their own potential. And she was pouring a lot of love into those young people. The interesting thing, bro, is that when you look at some of this from the perspective of the mainstream media, they're really trying to blame this on ICE. And the fault is on the illegal alien who should have been deported back in 2024. It's on the hands of these politicians like AOC, Gavin Newsom, and others that are telling these illegals to obstruct and to evade ICE. So just an all around sad story, not something we're thrilled to have to report about. But this is what your people like Alma Adams and Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer. This is the people that are losing their lives because of their sanctuary city policies and because of
Well, let me
Democrat open borders.
let me throw this out there because there's some pushback, if you will, on the idea that this is a Democrat Republican issue. And the one thing that's sad about this is that it shouldn't be that polarizing. The
Right.
fact of the matter is that it goes beyond saying, political, partisanship to say that we shouldn't have dangerous people in our communities. I don't care if they're illegal immigrants or U.S. citizens or any other so-called status you want to give them. Dangerous people and people that know. So, and I was thinking about this as you were saying this, right? Because think about this. You know, if you're driving without a license, you know, if you got into a motor vehicle after drinking alcohol, there's no excuse that can be made for any adult, in my opinion, that decides to get into a vehicle and drive said vehicle after, partaking in alcohol. There's no, there should be no leniency shown. There should be no, I don't believe in that. I really think that it's a shame that people really don't, they're on the other side of this issue. I think it's really sad. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. Look at that.
3-year-old at Madison Ann Hines, deceased when an illegal alien recklessly hit her without a license. And look, at the end of the day, look at that baby. Innocent baby. That baby never did nothing to hurt nobody. That's crazy, bro. And then there's another one that you
But,
put
but so
up on our page.
Yeah, but then you gotta understand something. Like you have people that are going out and they're protesting the law enforcement apparatus that's set there to, in essence, prevent these things. Because had these people not been here, right, and you can make the argument that some other tragedy could have befell them, and which is stupid, but okay. But do you really think that's the case? If these people weren't here, if the law would be upheld, and these people, there has to be some incentive on the part of the people who are on board with this policy. And unfortunately, average Joe doesn't have time to understand all of the alleged voter fraud that's been taking place, and how,
Right.
the landscape of what voter ID means, what these things mean. They're not really thinking about the nuance of these things. And so, it's unfortunate, but, too much loss of life, and you gotta put the blame where it belongs. It's on these sanctuary city policies, and it really matters who's in your guys' state house. It matters who's on your city councils. It matters who's on your town board. So we're gonna take another quick commercial break. We're gonna come back, and we got one more story before we get up out. We're gonna be right back here on the Urban Conservative. Stay tuned.
Just because you're black doesn't mean you have to vote Democrat. This year, in order to see benefits for our communities, we need to vote outside the box. Find out more by visiting us at tuconservative.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning into the Urban Conservative Podcast. So, before we get up out of here on this beautiful, snowy Monday night, it's
We don't got
crazy.
that problem in North Carolina. Don't put that on us, bruh. Nope.
No, y'all got some snow like 2 weeks ago, a month ago, whatever. Y'all got
It's
some,
all
yes, some.
gone. It's
Uh,
all gone.
isn't that crazy how everything just shuts down in certain places? Like little ice, oh, shut it down. Shut it down. We're not doing that right now. You got to shut that down. Yeah, Jada calls me all the time and she's like, yep, they closing. I'm like, why? She's like, yeah, it's going to be 24 degrees and ice on the ground. So I'm like, yeah, that's Thursday here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right
but
on.
such is the nature of it. So what do you got on the closeout?
All right. So listen, here's the last thing we were going to talk about. And look, they haven't moved yet. Okay, they're not gone yet. But I bring this up to say this is a prime example of putting the wrong ideology in front of smart economics. I don't know if y'all heard
All
about
right,
this,
but
but
but, but listen, do me a favor. Let's not bring up Democrat when we say this, right? Let's leave that off the table that these are Democrats that we're talking about. Let's just talk about, is what you're about to bring up even a failure? Would it be considered a failure? Go ahead.
I would have to say so because um I, and hold on, let me put it this way. The former governor of Illinois has been very critical of JB Pritzker. And what did he say? Where's it at? Hold on. Where to go? Where to go?
Isn't there
Former
Joe?
Illinois governor. No, here it goes. Former Illinois governor Rod I can never say his name. Blagojevich has accused Pritzker of gubernatorial malpractice, end quote, claiming he was outplayed and outflanked by Indiana, allowing a major economic asset and its fan base to potentially flee. Some people are viewing this as a repeat of businesses leaving Illinois under Pritzker's watch. Johnson has also been faulted for prioritizing a Chicago lakefront plan that didn't gain traction at the state level, potentially delaying progress. The Bears seek public subsidies for infrastructure around any new stadium. Critics are also arguing that Pritzker and Johnson haven't moved aggressively enough to secure a deal. There was a press conference and I saw where Johnson was like, "Yeah, they reached out to me. We just haven't had a chance to connect." And I'm like, "What is more important than that? Other than if you're not dealing with a safety concern, what is more important than keeping the NFL team one of the major economic drivers for the city? What's more important than that? How do you not connect?"
Well, economic development isn't a priority. You can tell a politician's priorities by what they spend their time on. So
Could they
these
still, if they move to Indiana though, they could no longer be the Chicago Bears though.
yeah,
Like
I mean, listen, I don't. To be honest with you, do you really want to be a Chicago
but
Bear
the
if you
New
can
York
be
Giants
somewhere
aren't the
else
New
right
York Gi
now?
aren't don't the Giants play in Jersey? Or the Jets are
No,
one of them?
yeah, I think something like that. There's some weird
Somebody plays in
arrangement.
Jersey.
Like
Yeah.
that's not the point. That's not the point. That it's the New York Giants and the New York Jets. I don't care if you play in Kentucky. You're the New York Giants and you're the New York Jets and you're the Buffalo Bills. I don't, you're the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles aren't going nowhere. You are the Chicago Bears, and I get people feel entitled to that, but then there's business and there's economics. And unfortunately, some people don't understand basic economics or even the basics of economic development for a city and what the economic drivers are for a city to run and what drives sales tax revenue and what does tourism bring in. And considering all these things, you just want the potholes filled in. All you know is that, the city didn't pick up the garbage, or, but all of these other things are happening. And when you
Right.
lose major economic investment into your city, services suffer. And, so you got to consider that you have crime in Chicago, right? Am I wrong about this?
I mean,
So
hey, that is a certified fact.
you got police that you got to pay in Chicago.
You
So,
got
it is what
firefighters
it
and
is, man. Yeah.
sanitation workers and yeah.
Yeah, so get in the comment section. Let us know. Do you think they stay? Do you think they go? You let us know how you feel about it. What do you think, Ali? Do you think they stay? You think they go?
I think they're going to be out, but time shall tell, ladies and gentlemen. Again, get in the comments. Let us know what you think about the Chicago Bears potentially leaving Chicago. Also, make sure it is early voting. If you are in the state of North Carolina, make sure you get your early vote on. Early voting ends Saturday, the 28th. Election day is Tuesday, March the 3rd. So make sure you get your vote on. And with that, we will see you guys live and direct right here next Monday night for the next episode of the Urban Conservative Podcast. Make sure you follow us on all of our social media channels. For my twin brother Raheem, Architect Soto, Madul Ali, this has been the Urban Conservative Podcast.